I gave up on acting every time because it was not happening. I remember my first audition. I went there, I was shaking like a leaf. And I knew if I didn't go, I would never go into another audition. So I went. And funny enough, I got the role. But even at that, it wasn't a fantastic role, but even at that, it's constant where you are constantly going, thinking that you're going to break through, or you've done a film, or you've done something that you feel has really made it big, and then you think, yes, this is my breakthrough, and then nothing happened. You gotta keep going. You gotta keep going, because if you don't keep going, you're gonna lose out. And if you lose out, you're gonna die unfulfilled. Yes, constantly I reject scripts. I reject bad stories. When I started, it was almost do anything, but as I grew older in the business, I tend to choose exactly what I do. And if it's not in line with what I think I can do, then I don't do it. And if the story doesn't work, it doesn't work. I just kind of, you see, the challenge is actually telling the producer that you don't want to do his job, because sometimes they take it personal. I don't know, why you gotta take it personal all the time? I don't understand. But anyway, it's more of a case where just be diplomatic about it. Say, for me, I always say, oh, when are you shooting again? Oh, I'm shooting that day. The second, we can move it to next, I'm shooting next month. Okay, next year, you never know. I might be shooting next year. Let's get to next year then. But just go and shoot your film. That way you don't have to wait for it. You know, but naturally, I don't do it. I'm just kidding. But I tend to, I like to read the script and break it down. And if it's not going to work, I always tell them why it won't work. I feel it's my duty to actually either help the filmmaker who is actually trying to make something, or if they take my advice, good. If they don't take it, then I would said my piece and I've said I couldn't do it for my own reasons. Yes, a lot of times, because the times you read the script is great on paper, but when you come on set, either due to the fact that you're paired with somebody who is starting out, or the fact that they skip so many scenes that the ones that have been made don't make sense. So a lot of times you tend to have good story, but not well executed, and then you have a bad film. You know. But then again, on the flip side, I've actually read some stories which I didn't want to do, was on the fence, and then when I did it, the film came out so well, I was shocked. So sometimes I'm not too quick to say no as I used to before, because normally what I would do, I'll say, who's working on this project? If it's somebody I've worked with before, somebody I can trust that we can actually try and change some few things here and there to help improve it, then I go with that. And I always tell the director, or I speak to the producer and say, this is what the situation is. This story is great, but at the end of the day, it can be better. We can work on it. And most of the time, directors are open to actually making, they want to sell the film, so making the story better. When I say we, myself and a lot of my colleagues, we've done great films that actually done well. So I imagine we know what we're talking about when we say we want to actually help make the project better. Yes, one would be, it'll be the old ones, which I don't want to say new ones, because new ones, I've done so many I'm proud of. But is it just two I've got to mention? Just two. I like to mention more, but I'll mention two. One being Last Flight to Abuja. Last Flight to Abuja brought me to Nigeria, made me stay in Nigeria, and it gave me a good run. I was getting jobs from left, right, and center from just that one itself. When I came, I didn't mean to stay, but that made me stay. The second one, and like I said, there are many I would like to choose, but I will say this one. I will say this one because this one actually I felt, and I get constantly people telling me they want to play that character. They want me to play that character, which is Victor Wilson in Lucky Wives. I played. Again, it will be Victor Wilson in Lucky Wives. Jeez. And the second one will be another film I did called. Man, life is too short to be regretting. You embrace what you've done, or embrace all your mistakes and learn from your mistakes. So I don't think I take on anything and say this I regret or that I regret. Life is a journey, and you make mistakes, and those mistakes, use them to make yourself better. Well, I could think of plenty of people I will marry, but if I mention one person now, the other person will marry me. So I would just say I will marry anybody who I gel with, anybody who I connect with completely. And it doesn't have, whether they're actors or they're bankers or they're bread sellers, I think they own a bakery. It don't matter. Bottom line is that they understand me and I understand them. And I'm a very easy guy to get along with. So not saying that anybody can be my wife. Underrated. A lot of our artists are underrated, but at the end of the day, there are some that are overrated. I'll leave that to the audience to decide. That is not for me to decide who's over and who's under. Everybody's over. Nobody's under. Okay, now, see what we got to go through? I am doing an interview here with my heart and passion. The continuity person decided to come and tell me and disrupt my flow, my thinking flow. I can't deal with this. What's the problem? There's a lot of problem. In fact, that's it. I ain't walking this. I'm not walking here. Put up PM. I didn't walk again. Do your worst. You want your money back? Do you want your money back? I will pay you back your 5 kobo that you sent to me. Okay. I shouldn't pay back, eh? Thank you. Because the money I don't spend them. My 3 most memorable moments, what, in the industry? In my life. Hi, man. From the top of my head, I can't think of anything. I think my life is a beautiful journey. I have lived in different parts of the world. And I have finally come to settle in Nigeria because Nigeria is home and because Nigeria has the kind of opportunities that the world used to have, and now there are no more opportunities there, but there are more opportunities here. So my best moments, I don't know, I'll just say probably in Nigeria here, but I don't know. I can't think of anyone at the top of my mind. Sorry, you don't get to get that info. One bad habit. Bad habit. I have, but it's too embarrassing to tell. Let me think. Which embarrassing habit do I have? I'm too cream and crop, you know. I tend to pay attention to a lot of things, and then if I feel it's a bad habit, then I shy away. I don't know. I can't answer from the top of my head again. I've changed a lot of things. So, you see, I used to talk very fast before when I was a kid, and then when I was trained as an actor, the acting coach said, "You speak too fast. You need to slow down." I lost that. When I speak very slowly, so that you can understand as I'm speaking. I can understand what I'm saying. Before I start, you know, they say your brain thinks faster than the information that can come out from your mouth. So I was speaking faster than my brain was taking. So I was speaking faster than my mouth could connect with my brain. But I kind of learned to slow down and speak in a way that you can actually hear me clearly. So a lot of things have actually changed. The way I walk as well. I used to slouch when I used to walk before. I've lost that. I tend to walk up straight. A lot of things I used to do. See, as an artist, you are constantly changing. You're changing because you've probably imbibed the character, and that character has made you see certain things about your life and say, you know what, I don't want to keep that anymore. I want to move on with this and then stick with this. So I don't know. I can't think of anything in my past. In my past that I held on to. Hey, I held on to my voice actually. Yeah, I was gonna change that at one point, but I didn't. People say they like the way I talk. And people, some bad belly people will probably say, I don't like the way you talk. That's one thing I hate about it. That's your problem. Some people like the way I talk. I apologize, no way for that. What kind of stupid question is that? Shaky. Is doctors' marriages and nurses' marriages and pilots and engineers and farmers, are their marriages not shaky? You just focus on artists that their marriage is shaky. That's the one you see. Do you see the other ones? You can't say artists' marriage are shaky. I never anything as. I don't want to do this interview anymore. People are beginning to make me wonder if I want to kill myself. No, artists' marriage. Listen, it's the one you see. We tend to see them marry, and then when they get married, it's a case where you expect everything to be all glory, and then you're waiting for them to fail, and then when they fail, you say, yes, you see, artist marriage didn't work. No, in everything in life, sometimes it takes work, and relationship is the hardest thing to work on. But you know, it's not just Nigeria. It happens in Hollywood, it happens in Bollywood. I have a friend, an Indian friend, who was a Bollywood actress. She was 18 and said, God had this producer who said she'd come to the hotel room. So it happens everywhere. But in Nigeria, you have some terrible people. You know, I don't understand. You see, listen, it's show business. In other words, you want to make your money back. So why would you be looking for sex for roles? Because they're going to come and spoil your film anyway. And then if somebody's talented, why the hell would they give you sex for roles? Because they're going to make it anyway. And if you're one of those who actually will do sex for roles, the person receiving it should you shame on you. You should not be asking for it. And the person giving it, you shouldn't have to do it, because at the end of the day, see, even